Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today, actually 2 days ago, I qualified to TI, which every time I say it is just like such a weird sentence, you know? It's such a weird sentence for me to say, probably weird for you guys to hear, because, you know, for most of you guys, I assume I'm mostly just a content creator. I assume the far majority of you have watched almost none of my pro games, which I don't care at all. You know, at the end of the day, I'm here to provide you with content, teach you guys about the game of Dota, but yeah, I miraculously, not that much of a miracle, but I qualified to TI. So if you're going to go this year, hopefully I get to see you guys there. When I went to TI as a spectator last time, the one that was in Seattle, a lot of you guys came up to me and we talked and chatted and took photos, and that was awesome. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Yeah, I mean, before we get into the video, I'm going to be reviewing one of the games for this qualifier. I'd just like to say thanks for all the support. Genuinely, the Twitch chat was insane. How many of you guys were shouting me out and hyping me up and congratulating me, and my Discord messages went crazy as well, Steam. So very grateful. I'm very lucky that I get to even do this. I genuinely mean that. I am lucky. You know, it's been my dream for literally forever. So it's tough. Pro Dota's tough, but I am grateful that I get to do it. So thank you for your support. Hopefully I get to see you guys in Germany. And yeah, let's get into the review. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. So this is game 3. I didn't do game 5. Game 5, I'm playing Batrider, and Batrider is like a bottom 6% win rate hero. I don't think most people want to play Batrider. Undying, on the other hand, is very high win rate. And so I thought, what a good game to cover. I dominated this game. I think my scoreline was something crazy. 7-1 with 19 assists. A very hard stomp, but I want to go over the decisions I made that I think were very crucial in enabling this game. So first off, I don't know, this guy has some clarity running. Yoink, obviously we're not going to do that. First wave, well, let's go over this lane very quickly. This is a Undying Troll against Darkseer Riki, definitely favorable for us. What they're going to do as a result of that is drag the wave. At high MMR, when you have a Darkseer, on first wave, you put 2 shells, you push it as fast as you can, and you go to drag. That is why I'm going to look for a 1 or 2 denies, max, and then after that, I'm going to meet the Riki. I want to make sure it is as painful as possible for him to drag the wave, which is why I'm even attacking and then blocking him in between attacks. I'm specifically trying to do that. I don't want to let him hit me in the back too much because it's Riki, but it's not the end of the world. He's not actually going to win any trades against me, and so even here you can see I'm getting a lot of damage, and it's important to understand people's game plans before the lane actually starts. You need to know what people are prioritizing. So Yamson does a great job here of connecting the waves. At this point, I identify there's no real reason in chasing Riki. Riki is a pretty fast hero at 315 movement speed. Undying is only 300, so it's going to be pretty hard. Instead, I get to easily run a Darkseer here. Darkseer is pretty fast because of Heart of Battle, right? He took this facet. It's very good in these types of lanes because he's 338 movement speed. Otherwise, he would die here. Genuinely, if he had a quick wit, we would just kill him. So, do a lot of damage. I dropped my blood grenade, which was probably stupid in hindsight. I really didn't need to, but we're in a good spot. You know, we're definitely in a good spot. They didn't get to drag the wave behind the tower because of Yamson's decision. I pop a clarity. This is probably a bit of a weird clarity pop because I do kind of need to fight, but I went for it. I backpacked my branches to get max efficiency out of like the next few seconds because I assume I'm not going to interact. I instantly shipped out 2 mangoes, clarity, and after that, blood grenade, because I used my blood grenade. Always want a blood grenade as Undying, so you can chase people and enable tombstone. A clarity and another ward. This ward will probably go... It's not going to go on the gate this game because they have an NP. But yeah, at this point, I wanted to cover the drag again. Just, again, trying to see what he's going to do. He goes to the left, but the problem with him potentially going to the left is that I can aggro the large camp, which I knew was there. Right, and this troll creep is very problematic for them because I wanted to deny this. We get the deny, double deny there. The large camp is going to stop them from really doing anything. And then they give me a double decay here, which is really terrible. If you're against Undying, guys, you cannot give... I'm literally constantly looking for double decays. And once I hit this double decay, wrap this interaction up. I mean, there's no possible way they're going to trade with me in this situation once I hit a double decay. Because when the decay ends, you heal. I'm hitting for 75, you know... It's just too tough. And so, look, when I hit for 75 and this guy hits for 61, thank God I'm a core player, or was a core player, because my last inning is quite good. So I get another decay, 79 damage, and if you think there's any chance he's getting these last hits, you're wrong. And so, triple deny, plus off that triple deny, I get the... I mean, literally, God was on my side for this game. If that guy exists, he was on my side, because I get the triple deny off the double decay, and now I get to drag the wave around and connect it to Ricky's drag, which is best case scenario, because now the troll is going to lane normal off this wave, because we are connecting these waves, and I can fight very comfortably. I even get the water rune, which is awesome because I was low on mana. Ricky's like trading with me here, which I understand. He's got a shell, but at this point, I'm feeling good. He's forced to use a shell onto his Ricky, which is totally fine. They're pressuring me a little bit here, but I wanted to continue to fight. Really try to like cause some issues for them here as I go for a deny. And at this point, I actually put myself in a bit of a dangerous position because the Darkseer hit level 3. I didn't even realize this was maybe a misplay. But I ended up getting a nice bait. I popped my mango, dropped the tombstone on the high ground, and they committed on me. But I called over RCY, like, at this moment, like, before I put down the tombstone, I called them over. I'm like, hey, look. And then they hard commit. And that's a double. You know, come on, that's an easy tip as well. It was my mission this series to tilt the Vailama. Whether or not it worked, I have no clue. Nor am I overly worried if it did or not, but, you know, I'm laning against him. I'm playing a lot of lane dominators, you know, so my goal was absolutely to try to get in his head at least a little, whatever I could. So that situation was great. My game's not good, but like, really, I mean, let's look at the net worth. Sure, I'm below Ricky, but I just don't care. Really, the big thing here is that Darkseer's under farmed, and my troll is obviously in a much better position, right? It is a 9 CS gap at this point. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable about the lane and about the early game. Now, this situation is something that I almost never do. Again, just kind of letting my intuition guide me. And that's something I'd recommend for you guys as well. Thinking is something I would only recommend doing pre-game, like actively thinking, and in VOD review or replay review, right? I just don't think in this moment, I'm kind of like, this just looks like a good time to gate. The Darkseer, I assumed at this point is jungling. Okay, I was right. This is, again, just kind of a read of knowing what people are going to do. If you want to get to the highest level, you just got to know what people are going to do before they do it, right? So you can make decisions based on that. And I'm like, okay, this Darkseer is not going to lane. I can't really stop Ricky from dragging at this point. It's like basically not worth it. He's going to get level 2 shelled, and I'm not going to be able to fight him. So I'll come bottom. I have a high pressure lane, which is another reason why I will gate here. I have a high pressure lane. Not every lane can dive the tower like this, but a winning Beastmaster lane into a winning matchup is a very easy lane to gate on, and it's also something I thought about pre-game. And this is something I'd recommend, guys, for all you support players. Pre-game, it's very good to think about where is your pressure going to be? Where do you think kills are going to be? Is it at runes? Is it across the map? Is it your own lane? Just figure out what lane it's in. Is it just in stacking camps? I mean, that's not pressure, but maybe there's no pressure. You should stack. But yeah, this fight obviously went well. We killed them all. And this situation got real goofy. He's getting TP'd back in to get XP and then just died. I mean, you are supposed to TP in to get XP there, but I think he was trying to drag the wave to kill the card, which, to be fair, he succeeded in doing. However, with Beastmaster, it's not really exactly going to keep your tower alive for that long. I mean, so it's okay, but I don't know. I'm not so sure of feeding a kill, and he died again. At this point, I just went for the Wisdom, stacking up the large camp, which I used the K to do, which I'd rather not. This hero has pretty heavy mana problems, but it is what it is. It's fine. At this point, I was already bottom. I don't want to just like YOLO TV top. I assume Troll was fine at this point in the game. So I looked to get down a deep ward in their jungle because I assume that we are likely going to progress into this area after Beast takes the tower. So I might not ward the hill. I can ward anywhere in this area. It doesn't exactly matter. I'm sure there is reasons to ward somewhere or another, but I don't exactly have one. So I kind of just place it at random wherever I'm feeling. And yeah, I come for the 8-minute rune, which we don't get. Unlucky. But that's okay. At this point, there's not much to do. The Ursa isn't laning bottom. The Darkseer's not laning top. It's one of those weird games where there's not much to do. So in 9 out of 10 games, guys, I'm going to keep it real. I'd probably just be in my lane, pulling the small camp, trying to get levels. Honestly, this game, I just didn't feel like I needed to do that. I had decent levels already at this point, and I wanted to stack triangle. You know, I do have a stack taker and eventually the troll. Beast can also take it on his Helm Dom 2 timing. And so, yeah, I just decided to stack. Again, this is kind of like me making the determination of where is my pressure. I tend to prioritize pressure over efficiency or stacks. But when there is no pressure, then I'll go make stacks. Or if there's no clean pressure, you know, there's always like some sort of technical pressure. But if it's like diving an Ursa at a tier 2. I don't want to do that. It's just like high risk. So we get up to farm up mid-wave, which is awesome. The sequence is really nice. We decided to contest bot rune. I was going to go stack the Ancients again, which would have been nice, but we wanted to contest the rune, so I'm there. DD spawns top. We decided to look for a go here. Didn't get a clean one, but that's okay. As fight breaks out, just dropping down the tombstone, a pretty casual spot. The Darkseer does not have high attack speed without quick wit, so there's basically no shot he's going to kill my tombstone. And a fight doesn't happen, but that's okay. You know, it's just protecting the tiny. I get a nice decay here, but whatever. Not much is happening. That's totally fine. Pretty normal at this point of the game from minute 8 to 12. That not much is happening. Obviously, depends on the game, but frequently not much is happening. So at this point, as we take the tower, I'm looking at the clock. I am always looking at the clock. If you want to get to the highest level, you need to be constantly looking at the clock and understanding what it means. Typically, it means stacks and it means runes. In this case, there is no rune. It's minute 11. So we're going to stack. I think I don't get the large camp here. I did it a little bit too slow. I could have decayed the Ancients a bit earlier. We get our mana boots. I check my Tiny. I know Tiny is a hero with big mana problems. So instead of instantly mana booting, I walk over and mana boot him. Another bit of efficiency there. As I sentry up into the jungle, take a watcher. At this point, I wanted to ward for my troll because I was afraid of him getting ganked. Troll is a very gankable hero. This hero dies very, very easily to ganks. As I saw them looking to put a bit of pressure top, but I was a little scared, I'm not going to lie. This whole sequence was a little scary because at this point in the game, when you're level 5 on Undying and there's like a max shell neck near you, you can just explode. And so I didn't want to put myself in like the worst position. Even decaying there was probably stupid. Honestly, I don't want to say I regret it, but it was risky. It ends up not mattering, but buy Quelling Blade for the NP. Probably shouldn't have bought a Windlace this game because when you're against NP, you kind of need the Windlace slot as Quelling Blade. And you might be like, what about the Blood Grenade? Well, even Blood Grenades kind of need to be something else, but I actually really want Blood Grenades on this hero because you just want to stick on top of people, you know, and it kind of just allows you to close the gap for your ult or get more value out of your tombstone. And so we decided to go for a bot tier 2 push. This is just a situational read on our Beastmaster having a free game. A Helm Dom 2 at minute 12 is absolutely a reason to go for a tier 2 tower. Otherwise, this is not a play we would force. You know, it just kind of depends on the game and on the heroes. Otherwise, at this point of the game, yeah, I hit level 6. I would likely be looking to make a move. I think here we were actually way too passive. We probably can assume that because we're so far ahead, which we obviously know, that they're going to dodge us. They're just going to farm 3 lanes and probably just try to get what they can. And so we know that the Kunkka is farming the jungle here, but we decide not to jump him, which I think in hindsight was foolish because, I mean, he's also not even buying a Blade Mail. It's not like going on him is going to make us die to Blade Mail, which frequently is the concern of going on Kunkka. This guy actually just has some hyper greedy, we need to scale, this game's going shit build. And so, yeah, I mean, we could have just gone on him, honestly. We went for like some easier jump, but like, eventually we realized this guy dies. It was definitely pretty low skill of us, but whatever. We get him eventually. Nice. Take this. Farm up an Ancient Creep. At this point, we got max decay. And now as Undying, honestly, the best thing to do with Undying is to, number one, team fight. If there is team fights, just take a team fight. But at the highest level, guys, when the enemy team falls behind like this, what's naturally going to happen is they're going to split up and dodge. Right? They're going to be very calculated about it, and they're not just going to give you like free random kills. And so, or team fights, especially team fights. They're not just going to team fight you. That's a recipe to instantly lose when you're this far behind. They're going to split up and look for pickoffs or look for us to dive a tower. And so as I'm dying, one of the best things you can do is push waves because you're actually very hard to kill and you kill waves very efficiently, right? I am a hero that 2 decays nearly kills a wave, right? With a bit of creep damage, it does kill a wave. And so yeah, I'm decaying up mid. I decay the Ricky here. I had a good sentry, so I do see him, which he quickly realizes. I'm going to casually decay him again. And, you know, I want to be a little careful about this, but I see my team killing top. And again, Ursa is not looking for plays. The Kunkka, I know what item he has, and it's kind of just a feel thing. Getting good at Dota is a lot of just feeling what people are going to do. Because Kunkka has the item that he has, which is Talisman of Evasion, not Blade Mail, I assume he's going to lead towards farming, not fighting. And so I can kind of make that read and play a bit like a psycho. I do have wards now, which I probably should look to place as I get surged on by a center. I ping my team that they might overextend, but again, it's probably pretty fake. If they actually commit on me, I have multiple ways of turning it. And so I'm just controlling the mid wave. I'm not the hunt hero. I'm not the guy who's going to pick off the split pushers. I'm the guy who controls the wave. And this is just a very high MMR, high rank map setup idea that you guys maybe can learn from a little bit. And this applies to a lot of heroes that just don't have stuns or significant long-range disables. You know, so we actually got outplayed here. This is the moment in the game where they almost made their major comeback. They really found a good angle, and this was super impressive from them. So maybe we overextend a little bit, you know, playing very, very deep in their jungle, very disconnected. I mean, our troll's on the complete opposite side of the map. So unfortunately, I think this is where we, you know, got over our heads a little bit. They found a good angle. The MP got a good ward down, and our beast got caught in a very awkward wall smoke screen, causing him a lot of problems. So yeah, this was really well done by them, just to find their moment. And this is what I mean. They needed to find their moment, and they have very good heroes at finding the moment. What I mean by that is they have a Riki to scout, they have an NP to place great wards with teleport, and they have Ion Shell to push waves without showing. So they have very good ways of actually finding a good fight without giving away too much information. But here it was funny. I actually told Fade as he died, I said, "Give me the dragon." I'm pretty certain that's what I said. I said, "Give me the dragon, I'm fighting." 3v1, but sometimes you just know your limits. I have the K built up. Hellscream apparently assumed I wasn't going to beat his ass here. I don't know. I did miss my blood grenade, but yo dead. You are dead. And me and the dragon, how to train your dragon. Or actually, how many of those are there? I actually don't know. But the fight continues on. We go a little bit deep here. I think maybe even too deep. I say that, but it actually did work out. We got a decent grip, which did eventually get canceled, but we got the flesh golem hit. And with another decay, we are up to 20 stacks. Not that it matters too much when you don't have Flesh Golem. Without Flesh Golem, you're pretty weak, as this fight got a little weird. We extended probably, let me rephrase, definitely way too far. This was probably a bit of an NA Dota moment, but that's okay. And Divine Llama, he's probably too busy. Here's the mental games coming into play. You know, Divine Llama tips up Speed Dota, and he says, you know, you guys suck. In reality, in this moment, we do suck, and I get it. He's probably right, but it doesn't matter. We got him distracted. The mental games are coming into play. He's so busy probably popping off that they're going to make a comeback. They just need to realize that, I don't know, the Beastmaster who threw wild axes at him up the hill and the Tiny who clearly could be here are not going to just kill him. I don't know if he thought he was baiting, but it was one of the worst baits of all time. and we killed him. So pretty nice. We buy 4 staff. 4 staff. Pretty straightforward this game. It's good against Sprout, it's good against Wall of Replica, it's good against Ursa, it's good against Smokescreen. It's not that good against Kunkka, but, you know, other than that, 4 good matchups for 4 staff, so I decided to pick that up. They also have very mixed damage between magic and physical, so it's like a little hard to like buy just like a Glimmer. I also don't really want a Glimmer. That item's just, I don't know, the stats on Undying are just kind of sad. At this point, minute 20, we're thinking about taking the Tormentor, but our Beastmaster can actually do it alone, so we don't need him to do that, as the enemy team dives in very deep for a kill, which they did not get. So we're able to get a couple of return kills here, easy peasy. At this point, I called for the Bane to check for the Riki. I wonder if Riki was going to go for our Wisdom. Wow, this guy insta-left. He didn't even try. I really thought he was going to try. But okay, he did not. He did not. So at this point of the game, we even took Rosh. You know, this is kind of one of the benefits of snowballing with Beastmaster. It just allows you to kind of take these objectives very quickly. So we took a very quick Roach. This was a bit ago. And at this point, we felt that we could go high ground. We have the luxury of that because we have, you know, a Beastmaster. I would say Troll is pretty good at it, not the best. But he does have his Ags, which gives him the ability to dispel himself. So it's much, much harder to poke him. It's not like you can just like Spirit Vessel him or something like that and force his BKB. You know, he doesn't have a BKB. So, you know, we force out the Glyph. We get a toss back on Skem. Nice play from RCY, just kind of being Chad here. Calling out, I don't want to say his bluff, but just kind of calling out that they aren't going to be ready. And we also have an Undying, which is fantastic in these positions, as I can heal up whoever does get poked a little bit. So we get a instant free racks very quick. I mean, that was dead super quickly, as we find a toss back on our Riki as well. They're just kind of RCY popping off in this moment, finding the angles, finding the moments to snowball the lead. Shout out to him. Playing super well here. Is Yamson ready to go up the high ground? We're smoked behind. And at this point, my job is just to heal up the Troll off cooldown. I don't want to get caught out of position in some weird way as we get a nice toss back. Very specifically, you'll see, this is actually an important moment. I even brought it up to RCY before the game started. I said, I'm not going to tombstone when he talks back. We have to be careful about it. And I was more so saying it for myself, so I just remember. But in this moment, you'll notice when he goes into toss back, I don't instantly tombstone because it will spawn a zombie. and you can toss the zombie. So I actually cancel until he tosses and then throw it. And now we get the Flesh Golem tombstone hits onto the Kunkka, which obviously puts him in a bad position, and we kill him off. And at this point, the fight is pretty chill, you know. We get another toss back. I mean, RCY going to work. And yeah, I'm just continuing to heal us up, and this fight is pretty damn over as we take a second Rax, another toss back. As I should decay him here, yeah. And I'm just constantly putting out these decays, putting out these soul rips, and yeah, at this point the game was pretty over. I mean, there's very little they can do from this position to actually catch us off guard. All we have to do, really all we have to do from this position is chill. We could wait Roche, or we could just go. Honestly, we're so far ahead that we have the luxury of pushing without it. I bought a Holy Locket here, which is something I don't really like doing after the item got nerfed really hard, but I actually skipped my talent to max Soul Rip. I do believe that the point in Soul Rip is way better than the Soul Rip heal damage. It's definitely way better. It's not even close. And so I buy the Holy Locket, get my W maxed out, and now my W is like a 560 heal or something insane. And so you'll see it in this fight. Again, all I have to do is not get gone on, don't get jumped, even though I don't even think they can burst me. It's probably unlikely with Ghost 4 staff at minute 25. I have some absurd net worth. Oh my. That's bad. That's when you know the game is over, when you're that close. But this Undying hero, this happens with this hero, because frequently you stay alive in the fights. You also instant respawn after fights. You do farm quite a bit, as they go on the Helmdom 2 creep. Oh, I actually should have healed the Helmdom 2 creep. I was probably too focused on this toss back here, as I should decay and soul rip him. Okay, I guess I held the soul rip, which is probably fine. I heal up the troll. When you have Holy Locket, it's definitely 10 times better to focus on healing than doing damage with W, because, I mean, first of all, the W is reduced by magic resist when you use it offensively, where it's not when you heal, and I have Holy Locket, so kind of no-brainer, as my beast gets put in not the best position here, but that's okay. I don't instantly panic with the 4 staff. Maybe I should have, because he actually got poked. Wait, does Ricky have shard? Why am I not 4 step? Am I just a bot? God, I'm so bad at Dota. What in the world? I think initially I probably was holding it because I assumed he was fine, but then at some point there's just like no excuse. I thought the Ricky maybe had shard, but I mean, to be fair, the tidal wave was nice. And my W didn't heal him for very much because he was actually vesseled, so okay, I cringed out a little bit there. We dropped down our tombstone pretty late. Again, reasonably intentional. That one is definitely intentional. I was very careful about just like throwing down casual tombstones because it really does grief Tiny hard. The amount of times I've seen that interaction grief games is more than I can count. So we get a nice heal on Troll. You can see the Troll is just completely healed up as we pop our ulti pretty late in the fight. I mean, I wasn't really frontlining for a while, so I didn't need it. As I probably Holy Locket myself here, as I'm very low on mana. I assume I Holy Locket myself. No? Maybe here? Yeah, I mean, I got it off on Tiny there. Did it save the Tiny? Oh, it actually did. Oh, never mind. Oh, he died. I probably should have Holy Locketed myself just so I had mana to click W, which would probably be better than using the Holy Locket. So maybe, you know, I didn't actually play that fight perfect, but nonetheless, I'll stop hating on myself. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned quite a bit from that video. Thanks so much for all the support, for everyone who watched and chatted. It does mean a lot. Hopefully we can make NA proud, even though there is no shot that the majority of my YouTube audience from NA. You guys can be fake NA fans for this TI and support your voice speed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out.
And that's all. But remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.